So in my first video, I talked about base defense and my particular design that works for me. There's multiple designs out there. There's some forums that are dedicated to it. And Jungle Heat has done a great job in introducing the base editor design so that you can actually work with your own design and then apply it and revert it, save it, change it, delete it, whatever you want. Second video, I talked about the math behind competitive tournament cupping in the clans. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about base offense. But before I do, a couple things I want to go over. As I indicated in the previous video, only go after bases that are going to give you 6, 7, 8 rating so as to effectively cycle between 2000 and 2100. The next thing that I want to go further into is make sure it's a base that you can actually take down. And in my particular strategy, I'm going to be utilizing the invader nurse strat. I'm going to be using 2 invaders and 1 nurse to take out all of the defenses, and then I'm going to try to take out the heroes and the bunkers using a handful of riflemen. You can also use slashers. I just prefer riflemen because if I'm going up against a base that has walls, the riflemen have that 3-yard range or 3 square range so that they can actually hit targets inside the walls, and I just find it to be a little bit more effective. And then if you come across a base that is 6, 7, 8 rating, you can take it down. The next thing you need to do is identify the heroes, identify how many, whether they're asleep or whether they're active, where they're patrolling, whether or not you can viably kite them to a corner or a border away from the enemy defenses, and take them out with a handful of riflemen. The next thing after that is you want to take a look at the bunkers, know how many bunkers, what level the bunkers are, and if you can drop one of your riflemen to generate the troops to pop from the bunkers. And that's important. In fact, that's probably the first thing you want to do when you go to engage a base, is because you want to deploy the troops from their bunkers and then go after their heroes that you can kite, because if you deploy a troop anywhere on the map, their enemy defending units are going to go immediately to that unit that you just deployed. It's kind of like it doesn't matter where it is on the map, they're going to go. It's just kind of a kiting strategy. Next thing you also want to take into consideration is whether or not it's an active base or not, because if it's an active base, there's going to be traps, there's going to be air torpedoes, and they need to be dealt with because you're only running with 3 effective units to take out the entire enemy's defenses. If you lose a nurse, you're completely hosed. If you lose 1 invader, you might be able to make by depending on how far in. It's better just to drop a single sapper. It's only 4,000 resources in oil and gold if it's a level 2 sapper, and then it'll save you for the rest of your attack. So without further ado, let me give you a play-by-play of one that I did recently that I was kind of satisfied. I'm going to go up against this guy named Armageddon who doesn't quite spell it right. But here it is. Here's a bunker. He's out in the open. No defenses. So this is easy bait for me. I take him out, take out these guys. Bone Crusher, he's chilling inside the base. I'm not really going to worry about him, so I deploy my invaders with the nurse over on the west side so as to buy me time. If my invaders aggro Bone Crusher, which they probably will, I'm not too concerned because he doesn't do a whole heck of a lot of damage. But I drop a sapper here in the mid, and there's that air torpedo. Good thing I got it. That could have really messed things up if I got hit by it. I didn't pick up any traps, so I'm just going to roll with it because I'm already steamrolling half of his defenses right now, and I start to drop my riflemen down here so I can start to close the gap in and just basically work from the outside in. Bone Crusher, in fact, did aggro the invader, but my nurse is handling his damage okay, and there's no more cannons to deal with, only a single watchtower. Cannons and watchtowers are the 2 that give me the most problems. The flame towers not so much, the mortars not so much. The Jericho's obviously not unless they're attacking your nurses, but for the most part, this base is very easy. I got quite lucky on it. Bone Crusher's now attacking the nurse, which I'm not too concerned about because she's got about 900 health and he's already gotten taken out by the invaders. And at this point I start to drop the heroes to work from the outside in and close in on this. So we've got 1 star, 30 seconds left, but that's based off of how much time is left in the attack, not from the originating point from which I deployed the troops. So you have 3 minutes. This one only took me, I think, about 2.5. You generally want to try and shoot for that 2.5 minute time frame. If you're 3-starring a base in 30 seconds, you used way too many forces. If you're 3-starring a base with under 30 seconds left, then that's a pretty effective use of your resources. That means that it wasn't too much overkill. So let's debrief. 2 level 4 invaders, that's 50,000 gold in oil, 65,000 oil when you count the nurse in, 69,000 oil with the sapper, and a handful of level 6 riflemen. So this isn't too bad. This is about 70,000. I got 10 back, which is negligible. But again, it's a 60,000 deficit, and this is why you need to utilize your resources very effectively, because if you're having these kinds of attacks over the course of 4 days, even at 4 million oil, you're going to get down to where I'm at, which is about 1.4. There's a little less than a day left in the tournament, and so I think I'll make do. I think I'll beat by. But at any rate, at closing, this is not the only strat. It's one that works for me. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and say thank you for watching. If you have anything you want to contribute, some comments or suggestions, open forum, cool. You know, no hard feelings if you disagree with me. But again, thanks for watching.